Most philosophy tells you how the world should be. He told you how it actually is. Baltasar Gracián, a Spanish Jesuit priest, who wrote the most brutally honest guide to navigating life that has ever been created. No flowery language. No pretending people are better than they are. Just cold, clear truth about how to succeed in a world that doesn't care about your feelings. And what he understood about human nature is something most people spend their lives pretending isn't true. Because the truth is uncomfortable. The truth is that being good isn't enough. Being smart isn't enough. You need to be strategic. And most people aren't ready to hear that. So let's go back. 17th century Spain. The world is complicated, political, dangerous. One wrong move and your career is over. Your reputation is destroyed. Your life could end. Everyone's playing games. Everyone's positioning. Everyone's pretending. And right in the middle of all this is Gracián, a priest. Someone who is supposed to be teaching virtue and morality and all the nice things people like to hear in church. But instead, he's watching, observing, taking notes on how things actually work, not how they should work, how they do work. And what he sees is fascinating and terrifying at the same time. He sees that success doesn't go to the most moral people. It goes to the most strategic ones. He sees that truth doesn't always win. Often, perception wins. He sees that being right isn't enough. You need to know how to make people think you're right. And he writes all of this down. 300 short lessons on how to thrive in the real world. Not the ideal world. The actual, messy, complicated world where people are selfish and politics matter, and appearances count for more than they should. He called it the art of worldly wisdom. And it got him in trouble. Because the church didn't like that he was teaching people how to be cunning, how to protect themselves, how to play the game instead of being played. But Gracián didn't care. He wasn't trying to make people comfortable. He was trying to make them effective. And effectiveness requires seeing reality clearly, not through rose-colored glasses. Here's what he understood. The world is full of people who will use you if you let them, who will take advantage of your kindness, who will betray you when it serves them. And if you go through life being naive about this, you'll get destroyed. Not because you're bad, but because you're unprepared. Because you're playing by rules that nobody else is following. So Gracián taught people how to protect themselves, how to read people, how to position themselves, how to be kind without being weak, how to be honest without being stupid. He said, the wise person does at once what the fool does finally. What does that mean? It means smart people see problems coming and handle them early. Fools wait until it's too late and then scramble. Smart people are proactive, strategic, always thinking 3 steps ahead. He also said, never share the secret of your success. Why? Because people don't celebrate your success. They envy it. And if you show them exactly how you did it, they'll either copy you or sabotage you. Better to keep your methods to yourself and stay ahead. This sounds cynical, and maybe it is. But Gracián wasn't interested in what sounds nice. He was interested in what works. And what works is being careful about who you trust and what you reveal. Here's another one. Make people depend on you. He said, the moment people don't need you anymore, they forget you. So smart people make themselves valuable. They develop skills others don't have. They build relationships where they're essential. They create situations where removing them would be costly. Not through manipulation, but through genuine value. Through being so good at what you do that people can't afford to lose you. And here's the one that really gets people. Know how to use your enemies, Gracián said. Enemies make you sharper. They force you to stay alert, to improve, to watch for weaknesses. A life without enemies is a life without growth. So don't just tolerate your enemies. Use them. Let them make you better. Now all of this sounds harsh, cold, maybe even ruthless. And people criticized Gracián for it. They said he was teaching people to be fake, to be manipulative, to play games. But he'd say, you're missing the point. He's not teaching you to be dishonest. He's teaching you to be strategic. There's a difference. Being strategic means understanding that not everyone deserves your full trust. That timing matters. That presentation matters. That you need to protect yourself because nobody else will. It means being kind but not naive. Being honest but not reckless. Being principled but not stupid. And here's what most people don't get. Gracián was a priest. He believed in virtue, in morality, in doing the right thing. But he also understood that virtue without wisdom is just martyrdom. You can be good and still lose. And losing means you can't help anyone, including yourself. So he taught people how to be good and strategic at the same time. How to maintain their values while navigating a complicated world. How to survive without selling their soul. He said, the truth is generally seen, rarely heard. What does that mean? It means people judge you based on what they see, not what you say. So how you present yourself matters. How you carry yourself matters. Your reputation matters. And if you ignore all of that because you think only substance should count, you're going to struggle. Because the world isn't fair. It's not just. The best person doesn't always win. The person who plays the game best wins. And you can either complain about that or learn to play. Now let's bring this to your life. Because you're dealing with the same dynamics Gracián was writing about 400 years ago. Human nature hasn't changed. Think about your workplace. There are probably people there who are less qualified than you, but more successful. Why? Because they understand politics. They know how to present themselves. They've built the right relationships. They're strategic. And you might think that's unfair. That merit should be enough. That good work should speak for itself. Gracián would tell you to grow up. Good work is necessary, but not sufficient. You also need to make sure people see your good work. You need to build relationships with decision makers. You need to understand the game being played and play it better than everyone else. That's not selling out, that's being smart. That's making sure your good work actually leads to good outcomes instead of being invisible. Here's another example. You're in a relationship. Maybe friendship, maybe romantic. And you're being completely open, completely vulnerable, sharing everything. No filters, no boundaries. Gracián would say, be careful. Not everyone deserves your full transparency. Some people will use your vulnerability against you. Some people will take advantage of your trust. Some people will share your secrets when it benefits them. So be strategic. Share gradually. Test people. See if they're trustworthy before giving them everything. Protect yourself. That's not being fake. That's being wise. Or think about your goals. Maybe you're trying to build something, start a business, create something, make a change. And you're telling everyone about it, sharing your plans, getting excited. Gracián would say, stop. Don't announce your moves before you make them. Because some people will try to stop you. Some will copy you. Some will discourage you. Better to work quietly and let your results speak. He said, better mad with the crowd than sane alone. What does that mean? It means sometimes you need to go along with things even when you disagree. Sometimes fighting every battle makes you ineffective. Sometimes strategic silence is smarter than principled opposition. This doesn't mean abandon your values. It means pick your battles. Save your energy for fights that matter. Don't waste it on things that don't. Here's the core of what Gracián taught. The world is complicated. People are complicated. And naive goodness isn't enough. You need goodness plus strategy, values plus wisdom, principles plus practicality. You need to be the kind of person who does the right thing, but does it intelligently, who stands for something but knows when to speak and when to stay quiet, who helps people but doesn't let people take advantage. Most people are one extreme or the other. Either they're too naive and get used, or they're too cynical and become what they feared. Gracián taught the middle path. Stay good but stay smart. He said, the wise person knows the limits of their knowledge. You don't know everything. You can't control everything. You can't fix everything. So focus on what you can actually influence. Be strategic about where you put your energy. Don't waste it trying to change things that won't change. And here's the thing. This isn't just about success, it's about survival. Because the world will eat you alive if you're not careful. Good people get destroyed every day because they didn't protect themselves, because they trusted the wrong people, because they were naive about how things work. Gracián didn't want that to happen to you. So he wrote his guide. 300 lessons on how to navigate reality, how to protect yourself, how to succeed without losing yourself. Some of it sounds harsh. Some of it sounds cynical. But all of it is true. And truth doesn't care about your feelings. Truth just is. You can reject it. You can pretend the world is nicer than it is. You can believe that being good is enough. And you'll probably get hurt. You'll probably get used. You'll probably wonder why things don't work out despite your good intentions. Or you can accept it. You can learn to be strategic. You can develop worldly wisdom. You can be good and smart at the same time. That's what Gracián taught. That's what separated him from every other philosopher. He didn't tell people what they wanted to hear. He told them what they needed to know. And 400 years later, it's still true, still relevant, still waiting for people brave enough to face reality instead of hiding from it. The world is complicated. People are complicated. And success requires more than good intentions. It requires strategy, wisdom, the ability to see clearly and act wisely. That's the art of worldly wisdom. And it's still available to anyone willing to learn it. Subscribe for more uncomfortable truths that actually work.